So those of you that don't know, my brother-in-law Ian bought an RMAX 4 bass a couple weeks back. And I've been accessorizing it because the base model doesn't come with the upgrades that the XTR and the LE come with. So I showed you last couple days ago how to add lighting to your, or backlighting to your switches. And now I'm installing a D-mode switch, courtesy of Yamaha. You want to remove your windshield and then remove this cover piece, and then remove your firewall. And you'll notice I remove the speed switch from that, and I'll tell you why later. But I want to show you the easiest way to remove this plug in the dash. Just take a stick, place it up against the plug cover, and give it a good whack like that. And it pops right out. And you don't run the risk of marring your dash removing that plug. So while I have everything apart, usually when I work in this area, I'll cover your CVT intakes with some plastic bag, just so, because there's a lot of mud here and I washed it out. I don't want any water getting in here. Plus, if you drop a bolt and it falls in here, that's going to be a pain in the butt to get out. So just some reference things. This is your throttle control module. Okay. These are your accessory plugs for powering various stuff you add. You have 4 here. This fourth one, this 4-prong plug, goes to the passenger rear. And if you apply power to 2 of these wires, you can power a device back there. For the D mode, there's a second bundle here. And you have a 4-prong along with a key on power to power the backlight for the D mode. Another thing is these zip ties. I love Yamaha because they use reusable zip ties. You just pry back on the tab and you can undo the wires and you have a lot more room to work with. Okay, so you take the caps off of these, and I'll tell you right now, I pre-remove them and put them back on just to the tab, so they're easy to take off. You may have to use a screwdriver to get them off. I left the turtle mode plugged in. Reason being is I want to test this before I put it in there, just in case something doesn't work. And through trial and error, what I found is I would plug this in, turn the key on, and my D modes wouldn't engage. And I had a thought that maybe it's if your turtle mode is on, your D modes won't work. And once I plug the D mode switch back in, it was working. So I like to bench test. Key here. So I'll bench test this and make sure, well, not bench, but before I put it in the hole, I'll hook it up and test to make sure this works. And it's working. You have to take my word for it that it's working. So then, now that you know it's working, you can put it in the hole and do the connectors. It also helps if you raise the steering wheel in the upper position to give you access to this. So this just pops in there. like that. And then you have these connectors. And then the ones you took the caps off, they don't give you a whole lot of slack. Just a 4-pin, and then the lighting. And the 4-pin is a white connector. Don't confuse it with this black connector or this previously mentioned opaque connector. And that's it. And before we put everything back together, go back. Make sure it's working. And that's it. So, there you go.